Nighttiger comics.
Nighttiger comics!
Nighttiger comics!
Okay.
What's Nighttiger comics?
Comics!
Never know what you're missing. So, comic junkies. Mike Smith here. Nighttiger Comics in the comic room. Buster's here. Hey, Buster B. Just doing some more Killer Age comic books. Killer Age comic books. Doing some Golden Age killer comic books. But before we do that, I got this Christmas gift from my buddy Jerry, the Jitterbug. And he commissioned, or Sammy told me to send a cover to Jeff Reynolds, Teleresis, Instagram. He does 3D covers. So I said, what the heck, then let me find a 3D cover for him to do to make 3D. And that's what happened. So thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Jerry. Jerry still has my Christmas gift. He hasn't opened it. Go on his channel, make a comment, tell him to open it. So I sent him this, a copy, and he made a 3D cover of it. It is super cool. Actually, it's almost like a puzzle. If you sit there and stare at it, then you start wondering, how did he do that? How could he do it? Could I do it? So did he do this? Did he do that? And it's very intricate. And I have to say, I am knowledgeable in art. And for him to be able to cut these perfect every time without, the little white fray or whatever, that's probably one of the toughest parts of this art, is cutting everything perfect. I don't know how he did it, but I'm trying to figure out how to display this. I really, really like it. So let's start off with some comic books. First of all, Dave, if you're watching, here's your snack. Bit of honey. If you don't like that, I have a backup snack. Flavor Twisties. Now I like these, but I hobbled around in Publix yesterday and they had no sweet chili Doritos. I was like, I actually fell on my knees crying. How can you not have chili cheese or sweet chili Doritos? They go with everything. And I don't know. Okay, so let's get into this. This is my last stack over here. I got some killer books in here, of course. Now this channel, mantra, theme, goal, whatever you want to call it, we want to inspire you to start collecting Golden Age and to show you that it is inexpensive. It can be dirt cheap for killer books. You have to train yourself to find what you love and to look for it and start learning price points, conditions, whatever you love. But the Golden Age, man, there's so much to learn. There's so much undiscovered. I'm always finding books I never even heard of yet. But this is not one. This is actually Silver Age. I got it from my comic shop for $6. So I did buy Golden Age, and I threw that one in because it was only $6. It's got a completely split cover, but look at it. The Lady in Black. And I'm all about the good girl cover. So you got 1958, pink background. It's a Joe Simon and Jack Kirby cover for $6.50. And when have you ever seen this one and known it was the Kirby and Simon? House of Mystery, 78. I love finding them below 100 for cheap. Okay, this is Golden Age. I got this at the flea market, but I'm going to show it again because the cover is just stunning. This is John Severin art. Now, I am under the assumption that he inked his own art on this because he has a certain look to his art, and once in a while, that look is missing, and I think it's because the inker changes. But this is number 108, November 54. He does an interior story, and of course this used to be Prize Comics. Then in the 50s they changed the title, went away from the superhero. This is why I paid for that. $12. $12, guys. So if you're looking for Golden Age, that was flea market. This is Silver Age also, but it's a reprint of the Golden Age. So this is again an IDW. Anytime I can find these, especially the good girl ones, in really decent shape for cheap, I like to get them in my collection. This was $16 on eBay. Everett Kinsler cover, and this is reprints from Fighting Daniel Boone, 1953. $16. I like to buy these IWs 30 and below, but 30 only if they're in high grade. And anywhere below that, maybe to like a 5.0, 4.5. But not, I don't. There's a lot of them falling apart, so there's too many of them like that. So look for those high grade ones. So I just bought this. So this was one of the books that came with this Golden Age book I'm about to show you. I made an offer on it. It is missing a centerfold, but it was $30. Feature comics with Dollman. He's strapped to a stick of dynamite. Come on, $30. That's my comic shop. Actually, it was less than that. It was what did I get it for? No, it was 30. I got it for 32 shipped. So when I show books for my comic shop, if I get several in one shipment, I break down the shipping and I add it to the price of the book. So I divide it evenly. So this got a $2.50 bump because of the shipping, but still, man, that is killer. And this is from 1944. So there you go. $30 price point. Again. Number 81 is Al Bryant cover. And then this was another book. I had it on my list in my comic shop. So I got it with these two here. It was $50. It was like 48. But it's a flamethrower cover. But it said it's a 1.0. Well, on my comic shop, they never show you the actual book when it's like super low grade, like fair. And so I had to take a chance. And it sat there for about 5 or 6 months. Nobody bought it. And I said, what the heck? Because this is going to be my last big buys here. I put some closer pictures on Instagram. That's Battle Cry, number 1954. So that's Golden Age, guys. $50, but it's a flamethrower cover and people are getting burned to death. That's what I say, $50. I think down the road, if I felt like I needed money and I was at a show or something or went to a show, I would put 100 on that or put it on eBay for 100. This was the find. I've been looking for Soldier of Fortune issues by ACG, The Good Girl. There's only 2, I think. This is the best one. And it was in high grade for cheap. Yeah, it has some damage here, but that's all. The rest of this cover is like super high grade. Super high grade. That's like 11 or a 12. But if you graded it, this part would here, without that cover corner, would grade 11 or 12. This would grade like a 5.0 or something. So they'd have 2 different grades on the book. But I just can't stop. I cannot. I just pull this one out every now and then and look at it. The art is so good. Oh, yeah, this is Ogden Whitney. So he did like Skyman art in the early 40s for Columbia Comics. But that one, man, is a Gerber 5. You probably said, what the hell's a Gerber? Go watch my video on Gerber guides and you'll know. This one, another one. This one will mean anything to anybody. But this is like a gem in my collection. And I saw it on eBay. I'm like, what is that? It was a new listing. It was cheap. So I paid $34 with shipping and taxes. But it's called Young Life. So I quickly did some research. There's 2 issues. And the first issue has kids like jitterbugging on the cover. And then this issue has warplanes. I'm like, okay, that's got to be some book that's really tough to get. This is from summer of 45. This is a Gerber 6. It's from New Age Publishers. They didn't do a whole lot of comics. This is the last issue. The next issue becomes Teen Life, which I do have. And then the next issue is Teen Life, and then they canceled it. This has like 2 comic stories in it. One's World War II related. And then it has articles by famous people. It has articles on how-to for teens. Letter column, of course, and like puzzles. It's really cool. It's a thick book too. I am really stoked to have that. That's a rule that you got to use when you're doing a comic book haul. Where am I? This was another one. I'm like, this is what I'm talking about, Golden Age. I'm like, what the hell is this? I've never seen it. Good girl cover. Vic Jordan. What the heck is that? I said to myself. I have never heard of this. I quickly looked in the Gerber guide. It was there. Gerber 6 or Gerber 5. This is a high-grade copy. Now, it has a cover split from there to there. Other than that, it's pretty high-grade copy. One shot comic. I forget who published this is. Good girl cover. I mean, come on. Scarce. Okay, it's not rare. It's scarce. If there was only 3 made, it would be rare. I'm sure there were at least a couple 100,000 of these made, so it's a scarce book because they've been destroyed. I've never seen this. I'm sure there's one out there somewhere else, but Vic Jordan, #1, April 45. So I'm talking about, baby. What did I pay for that? I paid a lot. I paid $139. Was it worth it? To me, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. We're winding it down. We got 4 books left, and 3 of them I think are pretty big. This one I just got yesterday. Captain Kidd. Now I'll show it's the issue after the Dagger series, the next issue, the Fox Good Girl. Didn't find any info on this at all. It's got Blackbeard in it. Of course, you know, Captain Kidd, William Kidd, another Billy the Kid. He was commissioned by the King of England to be a privateer, so he would sail around in the Caribbean and the coast of America, pretty much taking out the pirates. But at some point, he pretty much like started pissing off the Royal Navy. They didn't like him at all. He kind of thumbed their nose at their authority. I think when I read, it sounds like they were instrumental in stirring up rumors that he was a pirate, and he did do some piracy, but he was backed by a lot of high politicians here in America and the King of England, and they pretty much threw him under the bus after he did some things in their name, and it's an interesting story. That's Captain William Kidd. Check it out. Anyways, yeah, so that's number 24, June 49. I got excited. I started researching, started reading about Captain Kidd. And it's fascinating what Golden Age or comic books in general can do for you. We got 3 left. This was another one, man. I think it was relatively cheap. Now, I say the price point for me is $30 to look for those scarcities and find them. And you could do it. It's not going to be home runs all the time. You may not even find something for a while. This one I paid $64 with shipping and tax. But again, high grade. It's a World War II book, and it's pretty hard to find. So that was from eBay. That's from 43. It's a Gerber 5, and it's in really nice condition. So a book like this, so what I got it for $64. If I were to sell it, I would probably maybe somewhere around $300. It's just, to me, with the grade, the condition, and the scarcity, and what represents the cover and the era, it will command that. But that's stuff you learn. You got to learn that on your own. You learn that from trial and error, and believe me, I've had lots of error. And I'm still having error, but not as much. As you learn, then you start having less error and less error. But you can always have a percentage of mishaps or whatever. But you got to just build the knowledge on these books, which I'm hoping all of you do in whatever area you collect. Another one. So, guys, talk about price point. I'm going to go cha-ching, $30, okay? This was an auction win. This is a book that I've been looking for a long time. Many collectors want this book. I don't know how I got it at this price, but I got it for $27. Was it shipped? No, $33 with shipping taxes. But it's a really hard book to find in high grade. This is actually the highest grade I've ever seen of this book. Now it does have this corner down here is detached, but I was so happy that it was there. Because making the difference of without that little piece. And you can see why this book is in demand right now. She's showing her underwear. The crowd's going wild. You don't even know if the crowd's going wild because she's showing her underwear or because she's getting towards the danger. But it's called Taffy. Yeah, I think it started out Funny Animal, and this is I believe a fox. But this is a Mort Leave sexy cover. And like I said, I won it for $27, which is insane. There was one for $99, like a 1.5 falling apart, and the guy would not come down. And I'm like, I am not paying no $100 for this book when it's falling apart. I probably would have paid for $100 for this gladly in this condition, but I got it for $27. This goes to show you can get Killer Golden Age for cheap. Okay, last book again. What did I pay? Okay, my price point is like $30. So this one I went $40. So I went 10 above my price point. It's a 0.5, number 30, March 43. But look what it is, guys. It is a war bond and war stamp cover by Disney. This book is insanely inexpensive, especially when it's even in low grade. I think it's like $150 or more. I paid $40 for my comic shop. Another one that was a 0.5. They didn't have a picture because the grade was so low. So I had it on my list for a while, actually, and I was surprised it was still there. I think Steve has this copy. He was showing it to me, and I'm like, I want that. So, like I say, that was these are one of the last big buys for me for a couple, maybe 2 years. And I did get it. So I paid $40 for that. And so I did press the covers. I actually spent several hours in this chair a couple days ago. And I tell you what, I had to recover from that. But I archivaled this thing to inside to strengthen the structure of it. I'm not letting this go. I'm never going to sell this. I don't want to sell it ever. It's my book. So like I said, I enhanced the structure of it in the front and back cover, pressed it. I pressed the insides. There are pages that were, I think multiple leaves were loose. There were no tears or nothing like that. So I have a magazine stapler. I stapled them babies right back together. Pressed this, then I pressed them separate, put them together, pressed them again for 9 hours, and it's a gorgeous book. I can't wait to read it. I'm going to end it. That's it. That's all I got. $40. My comic shop. Check them out, people. All right. Peace out. Nighttiger.